Hey everyone. Today we're moving on to look at some different ways of organizing data, specifically numerical data. And the first couple of ways we're going to look at is going to be dot plots and stem and leaf plots. Let's jump right into it. So a dot plot is fairly simple to read. It's basically a number line along here at the bottom, and then above each one of the numbers we add a series of dots. And the dots are representative of how many times that particular data point occurred. So in this particular piece of data, we have 1 appearing once, we have 2 appearing 3 times, we have 3 appearing twice, we have 1 4, and we have 3 5s. Each of these is represented by a dot here. This should have lined up. Let's just jump into an example of drawing a dot plot. So we'll put along the bottom here. What numbers do we have? We have 1 up to 7. And we'll just label that. Oh, we need an 8 as well. Now, these numbers up the left-hand side, this is completely optional. Because as we start filling in the data, let's do that. Let's look through here. How many ones do we have? We have 3 ones. So you can see that it's kind of unnecessary to come over here and write 1, 2, 3, because you can pretty clearly see that there's 3 dots. But sometimes you will see these numbers here just for completion's sake. Alright, so let's continue filling this out. We'll look for all the 2's. 5 2's. Let's just check off the 1's so I don't come back to those. Okay, 3's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 3's. 1, 2, 3 4's. 5's. 1, 2, 3 5's. 1 6, 2 6's, 3 6's. 2 7's. And an 8. And now because I've been crossing off the numbers as I go, every single number should have a mark on it, which it does. So we have included all our data down here. So it's always good practice to spell your words correctly. It's always good practice to label your axis and title your graph. Okay, so that's dot plots. Stem and leaf. Now, stem and leaf can be a little bit confusing. But once you know how they work, they're fairly straightforward. So, the stem here is essentially the tens column, and every individual number over here in the leaf is a different entry in the ones column. So for instance, here 05 is just 5, and then the next number is 7. These numbers here are 12 because we now have a 1 in the tens column, and so on. 15, 15, 17. A quite useful way to use a stem and leaf plot is these back-to-back stem and leaf plots. We'll see an example of that in a moment. But basically what this is two different sets of data, one here and one here, but related in some way. And it works the same way. This first number here is 0. The next one is 11, 12, and so on. And then over here in the second set, you've got your first number is 9, then you've got 12, 13, 15, and so on. Let's look at a quick example. So we have our stem down the middle, which goes up to 30. Now we need to look through and find all the single digits. And then we write them in order, preferably. Let me make that a straight line. And then you continue on for all the ones. So you'll have a 10, a 10, an 11, a 14, a 15, an 18, and 2 19s. Ooh, 3 19s, I missed one. In the interest of time, I'm not going to finish this. I'm going to move on to the next example. But I think you should have a fairly good picture of how these plots work. What we're going to do here is we're going to do a back-to-back stem and leaf plot. One side of the stem and leaf will be boys and the other side will be girls. So let's just draw it up. We've got the stem in the middle. Where we need to go up to 30. And then we can put the data for the boys on this side and the data for the girls on this side. So there's only 1 in the zeros for boys and 1 for girls. Then if we move down to the tens, we've got 11, 13, 16, 19 for the boys, and we've got 12, 18, 13, 15 for the girls. And then we do the 20s. 21, 2 25s, 27, 28, 29. And then again for the girls. 22, 2 24s, 26, 27, 28, 29. And then we just quickly fill in the last few. 30, 31, 32, 35, and for the girls, 31, 34, and 30. So there we have it. This data is represented here, and this data is represented here. Alright, so attached just below where you're watching this video, you'll find the chapter of the Year 11 textbook you need, and you'll do question 1 and question 2 on dot plots, and question 4 and question 5 on stem and leaf plots. Thanks, guys.